Hello, my name is Jackson Moore. I am a student at Houston Baptist University, now Houston Christian University. The course in which I'm doing this quick video for is physiological psychology. My student ID is H01281354. My instructor's name is Professor Catherine Marie. Thank you for the opportunity. And today I will be dissecting a sheep's brain. I was fortunate enough to get my hands on one, and I will be identifying 15 critical components. Wow. I will be identifying 15 points and explaining them in some form of detail, what they are, what their functionality is. As you can see, I am gloving up. Hopefully. I have all my utensils, the critical components, the scalpel, the scissors, and the pointer, and a few other things that I may need. Okay, I'm going to start out with opening up the sheep's brain with the scalpel. Turn so you can see it. I have opened up the sheep's brain in two almost perfect halves. The first area I'm going to identify is the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus produces hormones that control body temperature, mood and heart rate, and that is going to be in this region here. Make sure you can see where I'm pointing. Hypothalamus is in this region here. The second area I'm going to identify, I believe, is going to be the pons, which is somewhere in this region here. Pons. Open that up a little bit. That's the pons there. The pons, it's a part of the brain structure that links your brain to the spinal cord and handles, I think, the unconscious processes and jobs. So things that we do without thought, it's pre-programmed, preset, knee-jerk reactions. I hurt, I grab. Basically, blinking, it's without thought. I for the most part, for me anyway. The next part that I will identify is going to be this region here. Wow. And it looks better here. It's actually the cerebellum. All of this right here. Some identify this as the mini brain, the little brain in the big brain. Regulates a wide range of functions and processes in both the brain and the body. So this guy is very important. This again is the cerebellum. The pineal gland is what I want to look for next. And if I move over this direction, so this was the cerebellum. So the pineal gland is in this area, like, oh yeah. Right here, I believe. You see this little fatty area? right in there, based on what I was reading earlier today. And the pineal gland, it's part of the endocrine system. Basically, it's our wakeness and our sleepness. It handles the hormone, I want to say melatonin. I'm pretty sure it does more than that, but forgive me in my finite mind, my lack of knowledge. Okay, let's see, where am I at? The thalamus. I go back down again. I hope you can see this. The thalamus, which is right here. So the pineal gland was here. Ugh, that's gross. Kind of right in here. The thalamus is going to be right in here. And the thalamus, excuse me, what it does, it's like a relay station. So it's communicating, it's networking. Sensories pick up, it communicates. To the best of my knowledge, I believe that's what that is. The next is the olfactory bulb. The olfactory bulb, that there is what communicates, basically receives information about smells from the nose and sends it basically to the brain. Of course, there's the olfactory trail or train, and from the olfactory, which is kind of right in here, by the way. The olfactory bulb kind of right in there. I wonder if you can see it better here instead. I don't think so. I think here's still best. It's interesting, I see these creases here. Anyway, the olfactory bulb's right there. Basically it translates what we're smelling, communicates it to our brain, and this is how we also it goes and it engages our memories as well. So this is how we could smell something today and remember it, such as me, gunpowder from my days of military service. I could remember and reflect and actually put myself in situations that I was in, doing training exercises, for example, just based on holidays, 4th of July or New Year's. I can smell the gunpowder that's in the fireworks. It's really amazing. Okay, the gyrus. The gyrus are bumps and ridges on the cerebral cortex, kind of the outermost layer. So really the gyrus, you can see that more on the exterior here. The exterior, the outermost layer of the brain. So you see that here. And the sulcus, that's the lines, I believe. That's the cracks that we see here in the brain. I pray again that this is visible and can be seen by this camera. Segregates brain areas, enhances the surface area, and cognitive ability of the brain. So brain capacity, but that's the veinage here. These are the lines and the cross section. So the gyrus here, the outermost layer, and the sulcus here is the segregated brain areas, segregated the sectionings of the brain areas. Okay, the superior colliscus. The superior colliscus, let me see which one shows it up the best. I think I've got it right here, actually. Yep, right in here. It's neighboring just about, if you can see closely here, it's neighboring just about to the cerebellum. Excuse me. Multisensory midbrain structure, basically. That it integrates the visual, the auditory information that initiates orientation and movement, the eyes, the head. So it brings it all together and makes it all make sense. So our senses do not work independently, or do not respond or speak to us or engage us or cause us to do something independently. They come together in harmonious balance, kind of like a symphony, making music. So yeah, superior collis. interior colors, which involves sound, localization frequencies, determination and integration, auditory with non-auditory systems. So again, it takes sound, communicates it to what doesn't hear sound, and makes it all come together. So it brings all our senses together and causes us to respond or to react, to walk, to move, to have balance, to see, to engage, to interpretate, based on the senses working together as one. Inferior coloscus, and it is actually located here. So this is the superior right in here. This is the interior right in this area here, almost close to the pons, I believe, kind of in that area there. It is interesting how these two halves, I see this more now. I see the cerebellum more now here. I guess it needed to dry out. That's interesting. I might switch what I'm using. Anyway, running out of time. Oh, almost out of time. Okay, the arbor vitae. Arbor vitae, that's the white, the white texture that is located inside the cerebellum. And basically what it is, it's white brain matter. It brings sensory and motor information to and from the cerebellum. So it networks and communicates. The spinal cord, which is right here. The spinal cord, it carries message back and forth between the brain and the nerves that run throughout the body. That is the spinal cord. The optic nerve. The optic nerve is here, to be exact. Strangely enough, it sticks out for whatever reason like a sore thumb. The optic nerve, what it does, it relays messages from your eyes to your brain to create visual images. And finally, the central canal. In the event of an injury, the central canal helps to transfer nutrients to the spinal cord. But me not being a specialist at this at all, I suspect that there's nutrients coming from the central canal to the spinal cord at all times. So that concludes what I have to bring. Again, I hope this is satisfactory. I hope this gives me a good grade. Thank you so much for your time. You have a great rest of your evening.